Hello everybody, Darren here, and welcome back to Cities Skylines. And the last episode I added our international airport and adjusted some of the surrounding transport infrastructure to accommodate it. But, as we've seen recently, traffic has become a little bit of an issue, and so has education. We're actually educating too many people, and we need to expand our population a lot to backfill the jobs that people previously had, but now have promoted out of. So a lot of the blue-collar industries, basically. So today, two things are on the agenda: traffic reduction and population increase. Two things that'll be very easy to do, obviously. Let's begin. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the thriving City of Swords. It feels damn good to be back. It's been over a week since I've actually played the game. Unfortunately, I've been sick. And even when I was starting to feel a little bit better, my voice was just completely shot, so I wasn't really able to get you the videos on time. So apologies for that, and just a little word of warning in advance. Maybe a little sniffly here or there, clearing the throat every now and then. Still kind of getting over it, but I'll try to cut as much of that out in the edit as I can. But just, you know, some of it might get past me, so I thought I should let you know. Alright, so I am rearing to go and very eager to get back into things. Forgot how much I just enjoyed this game until I was looking over the city and seeing all the problems that we gotta fix. Speaking of traffic, that's our number one problem that we're going to be trying to, I hesitate to say solve, but, you know, improve at the very least. So traffic flow is 73%, and the majority of it is in our downtown part of the city. Our suburbs are largely fine. So just to get the district's names on again really quickly, and we'll just turn off the traffic mode. Basically, our industry shoreline over here, we have the suburbs with tons of little districts inside of it. Crown Farms, big industry area, and then what I just refer to as downtown or the inner city. It's really the city, and these are the suburbs, right? So the city is the thing that's struggling with all the traffic right now, and we'll talk about why. Because it's important that we all get on the same page. Like I said, people have their own ideas about what's going wrong, but we need to all kind of align and understand it before suggesting about building bridges, tunnels, and all sorts of crazy things that people have been suggesting. Okay, so, effectively, here's the issue. Most of the traffic is cargo traffic. It's very few, not very much of it is pedestrian traffic. We've got a pretty good public transport system. People are getting around just fine. It's more the cargo traffic which has the biggest issues. And that's basically because, if we turn off the district names, if you have a look at our zoning, we have three industries, right? One here, one on the south, and one on the northeast. And then all of our commercial zones, or at least the majority of them, are in the heart of the city, a little bit further in, and then a little further in again. So we've got a kind of a band of commerce and offices across here, a big band of a commercial district here, although some of it is light commerce, so not too bad. And then we've got a lot of heavy commerce in our pedestrian area. So, being a pedestrian area, if we just have a look at it really quickly, we can see that this area here is actually maintained and covered by the glowing green buildings, right? That's where the cargo vehicles are going to deposit the different things, so that all the buildings in this painted area get their goods and services and whatever else, garbage trucks, all that kind of stuff. Now, obviously, smaller service vehicles make their way into the actual pedestrian areas. They drive on those roads, but none of the other ones do. There's just one road that you're allowed to drive on, which is this one that goes straight through. It's sort of our arterial road that goes through the heart of the city, if you want to think of it that way. And this is the road that I actually want to declutter the most. So, where's the traffic coming from? Why is it such a problem in here? Why can't they get there? Well, we've got two roads leading in, basically. Sort of three, but it's really two. We've got one from the highway that leads in straight into the heart of the city, and then we've got one that cuts across this bridge here from the suburbs. Now, this suburbs also cuts across just here, but we can kind of consider this all one road, I think, anyway, because the industry coming out of here goes that way too. Maybe some of this industry flows along there, goes in there too. It doesn't, none of it goes this way. No industry travels along this bridge, and that's because it's not allowed. None of the trucks are allowed on that bridge. It's actually banned. And the reason for doing that originally was just to take some of the pressure off the private vehicles. So for instance, we've got a lot of residential on this side. This is all heavy residential, all along there. There is a little bit of commerce. It's really not that much, but there's a little bit of commerce there. So the idea was that I didn't want trucks going through here, going through so much residential area just to get to the commercial zones, or going, for instance, a suggestion was to build a bridge from here to here. There's no real point. It doesn't alleviate anything. You don't want cargo trucks going through a residential zone to get to commercial zones. I'd much rather filter them or direct the flow in a different direction, even if it means it's going to be busier that way. Because these are two residential areas, and people are moving between them totally fine. Remember, there is a metro stop here and here, so they're able to get through. People are able to move between these areas, no problem at all, and that's really not the problem, it's cargo. So soon I actually might allow cargo to travel on this, because that means that some of the cargo from this industry will just move across the bridge. However, the idea with locking it off was that building a bespoke train station in here, a cargo train terminal, means that a lot of the goods that are produced here, the oil, the unique products, anything like that, is going to take the train line around and actually come straight into the heart of the city and deliver it to the cargo train terminal in here. And this is the final point about how the transport is laid out in this place. It's that this area here is producing a massive amount of vehicles that flow along this road to go deep into the city to all the various places. The majority of which actually goes here into this large cargo service point. So we've got 2 right next to each other. Well, we have 10 trucks and 2 on that one. And then there's one on the opposite side, which is just the pedestrian service point. So this is more for the garbage trucks and services. But apparently has cargo as well, I guess. So there's another 8 there. So a lot of it's going to these 2 places. And then the rest of it is kind of going into the heart of the city, where we have our university and then a big commercial zone here and here. So that's kind of where all of it's going, right? They have sort of one way in. Everyone's pretty much taking this road somewhere in. And that's just causing a big backlog of traffic, because the private cars, even though there isn't that many, they're just getting bogged down because of the amount of commercial traffic. So on match day, for instance, which is going to be in about 6 months, or 8 months actually. Another thing worth mentioning in this area before moving on is that this place has 3 crematoriums, it has a park maintenance building, and a waste transfer facility, which are all sending vehicles out all the time. So there is just a tremendous volume of vehicles in this area, and I knew there would be, to be completely honest. I did anticipate and I thought that this would be a good solution to it all, but I think the biggest thing was that I underestimated massively how much the cargo train terminal was going to produce, like how many vehicles were just going to be constantly coming out of here. I've actually seen it where trains are being backed up here, so many are trying to deliver their stuff in, and it makes sense. They're all basically trying to provide for the entire area, as it were. So we need to divide that down. So another solution I have in mind is building a ferry depot, or sorry, a ferry cargo terminal somewhere over here or here, so that they can just feed in and get to this commercial zone. And that way it should take some of the pressure off of the railway, I hope. And then when we move that cargo terminal, the cargo service point over here, that should also cut down on the traffic being used on that main road. So that's kind of my ideas behind it. Some ideas I did try. Roundabouts just wasn't really working. I actually tested putting a roundabout down, another one down. Just didn't seem to alleviate the traffic at all. Extra bridges, it moved the problem, it didn't solve the problem. So again, this is something that I think will cut down on traffic rather than just push it along somewhere else. But I'm open to suggestions. One very final thing before we actually get started is a constant suggestion I get is, why not build like an interesting highway going through the city with some cool interchanges and stuff? Just gotta hold my hands up and say, like, I'm just not good enough at the game to do that. Just straight up. I've been looking at it for a long time thinking, okay, I'm gonna really push myself. I want to learn how to do that kind of thing and get better at it. But I just can't think of a way to make that work without redesigning like the whole city. I think if I thought of it early on and gave the space for it early on, maybe I could have done more with it. But I was thinking like, okay, what if this was a highway? Then what? Like, where does it go? Where does it end? Does it cut through these buildings? What does the end point look like? Does it feed into a roundabout, or I just don't really know. I thought like, yeah, you can have slipways that come off and go to the side. We can have ways that goes across. This could join onto it somehow. I really did think about it and tried playing around creatively with it. I just can't think of how to make it work. So just being honest with that. The best interchange I've ever made is this one, and it's really basic. You know, it's basically just a series of off-ramps. Whereas you see people build these amazing looking things, and it's a much more American thing to do that. Not that it's a problem. My building style is a fusion of American and British, I guess, and European. It's kind of a fusion of both. My downtown city is more American, I would say, and my suburbs are more European. That seems to be the way I've kind of gone. But anyways, I just wanted to let people know, like, I've thought about it, I'm trying to think about it, I'm trying to improve. If you have suggestions of videos to watch that can help with that kind of thing, I'm open to learning. I have watched a few, but anyway, it's just one of those things where maybe I've just creatively locked myself into stuff where I've got these massive buildings that can't really move. I'd have to shift so much that it seems really impractical to start thinking about building a highway to go through here. Because we're coastal, it's like, where does it go? Highways, in my mind, at least, for cities in Europe and in England, usually they go around a city, not through it. And you have like a series of different ways in. But because we're coastal, it's a bit of an issue, right? We can't go all the way around it. So there's no way of getting into the back here without just going straight through, or Yeah, clogging up the roads. Right, so hopefully that means that everyone's up on the same page now. We all understand the problem, and we can start finally tackling it. So let's see if Darren's plan can work, because I haven't actually tested this one at all. It's just an idea. The ones I did try didn't work, which was the bridges and the user suggestions. This one's my own suggestion. We're going to be doing it on the fly. We're going to be doing it live. Now, in order to do that, we're going to move some of these buildings out of the way and relocate them somewhere in the future. But these crematoriums can just move for now. We'll grab the helicopter depots. They can move as well. And even the park maintenance building could be moved also. So we'll just move that back in a moment. Get rid of this and cut away these trees. So I did look and see if this would fit here, and it seems like it will, only barely, but it should do. So effectively what we want to grab is this, a large cargo service point, but before we do, we've got to paint out the pedestrian area further. So pedestrian areas can have roads going through them, which is actually fairly realistic. Most pedestrian areas that I've encountered do have like 1 or 2 roads to go through them. Maybe not as big and busy as this one, but then it's like really everything built around it is the pedestrian no car zone. So you still have to have that service point somewhere in the center that can be reached by a car, but isn't interrupting, you know, isn't getting in the way of all the people trying to walk around, basically. Okay, so let's move it. So we're going to have to use Anarchy because it is slightly too big. You can see it has this big open empty back on the back of it. So we'll Anarchy it in there. Now the one thing it does that's not great is it has that fence that comes across the rail. Now if I wanted to be cheeky, I suppose we could just click it. Maybe find the, with Bob, maybe find the fence and remove it. Industrial fence long. So how do we do this again? Probability 0, right? Yeah. So that gets rid of the fence. In fact, we could put the probability to there, 70. And that way it still has a chance of occurring next time we use the building. What else? Oh, sorry, 70, and then we have to lock it in. Now the other one would be the, maybe some of the cargo containers would be nice. And is there a way I can see them all? Individual props and all this, yes. So cargo containers, maybe just remove the one that's on the very edge. There we go. Just say that one's just a little too close for us. And say okay. So now we can look at this and say, look, that's fine, right? You can't get me on that. I don't think so anyway. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab the... It's actually not there, but we'll grab our own small service point. Just the small pedestrian area service point. Fit it in right on the side there. Looks pretty good. You can maybe just move it forward slightly. Yeah, better. It looks like it's all part of one building now. Okay, so progress is being made. So what we'll need to do next is grab our roads. We're going to go with the one-way directional road and use an industrial road. Bring this, I guess, just along here. Excuse me. And up that way. Then we'll do an upgrade. Okay. And there we go. So now we've got this loop that goes around. So as cargo trucks make their way back in here, they just kind of keep the direction of flow going. Hopefully that means that people on the right side are stopping in. People that pull out to the left are just continuing along and going that way. We'll see if that works. Just before we continue though, I want to just get rid of some of these trees. That's quite a lot. Because we're going to be expanding into this area soon anyway. Alright, there we go. So, is there anything we can move back in there? I think the park maintenance building might be a good fit, but maybe we'll leave the helicopter depots. Doesn't have a great fit. And then the crematoriums. So just really quickly, what's the direction of this building? It is on the side, so that those cars come out that way. That's good. I don't want them obviously looping around, so that's fine. I think the crematorium should just be moved somewhere else. We have that new advanced crematorium area. I haven't like made it look that good or anything yet. I do plan on doing that at some point, but I haven't done it just yet. These ones are still needed for now. Just trying to think. I guess just temporarily, we'll just keep them in there, but I do feel like they're going to have to move somewhere else. And maybe to make their life a little easier. Don't know if this is going to really work. Can I go across there now? Is that in the way? Seems like it is. Yeah, don't know if that's a good idea or not. I don't think so. Can they fit in there? No? Too big, right? Yeah, they're too big. Basically what I'm thinking is if they have their own road they can snap onto, I suppose... Forget that. Let's just grab them, put them down this way. Just snap out there. So they're going to add to the traffic. I'm just going to have to deal with it. Alright, so they'll flow along the same way. I'm hoping they stay on the left and they don't clog up any of the traffic coming in and out of that area. Okay, let's just move this out of the way for now. They don't really matter too much, these service depots. Let's just make sure they have what they need. And maybe some power. Okay, and what about you guys? Do you have power? Yes, you do. Alright, and that connects us back out to the waste transfer facility. So this road is going to have to continue and join onto the highway. Again, another problem I have with the highway is I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, yeah, it would fit really nicely in there if I just added another one of these same sort of interchange right here. That means that we've got interchanges really close to each other. And I was thinking like, well, maybe it would make more sense if this continued and latched onto that one and we made like a cloverleaf one, right? Or similar. But it's a lot of work, so I'll probably have to do that in my own time. But I do think we're going to connect those up so they have a way out. And what I was thinking down here would be really nice along the coast is a small little suburban town. People thought it'd be nice to have one near the airport. So that's kind of what I plan to have there. Somewhat separated from the city. All right. And I'm hoping to get to it pretty soon. Not take too much time with it. All right, well, let time play. The other actually, just really quickly before we do, is just want to cut away the old service points. So they're not there anymore. Now this entire pedestrian area is serviced by this. And it can have a capacity of 30. Previously, it was using, with all the trucks combined, something like 20. So I'm hoping that there's still enough. Now, we might see an influx of a lot of goods early on. But if we give it 1 or 2 cycles, maybe things will balance out a bit. So we'll see if this, reduces traffic in the long run. Okay, so I think while we're waiting on that, the next thing then is really just to focus on the population and try to build it up a bit.
Alright, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32 33 34 35 36 37 38 39 40 41 42 43 44 45 46 47 48 49 50 51 52 53 54 55 56 57 58 59 60 61 62 63 64 65 66 67 68 69 70 71 72 73 74 75 76 77 78 79 80 81 82 83 84 85 86 87 88 89 90 91 92 93 94 95 96 97 98 99 100 101 102 103 104 105 106 107 108 109 110 111 112 113 114 115 116 117 118 119 120 121 122 123 124 125 126 127 128 129 130 131 132 133 134 135 136 137 138 139 140 141 142 143 144 145 146 147 148 149 150 151 152 153 154 155 156 157
Alright, straight away got a little distracted there with the tram. So effectively we have our district of Fairview. The way I've done certain tram routes is that we have little local groups around small districts with only like one tram running around in a circle, and then it kind of hits certain connection points so people can make their connections and go to different places. So that's pretty much what I'm going to do here, but I got stuck for a second because I was starting to put the routes on the outside, you know, on the outside of this loop as it were, which is totally fine. I see no reason really why you can't do that, other than the fact that I kind of just think that they shouldn't have to cross the road to get onto it. Now, if we build out here along the coast somewhat, then maybe we could start to use that outside bit a bit more and continue one of the outer loops all the way around or something. But I just thought I should mention, I thought about it, that's why right now I've decided to keep it on the inside, and it'll cross over with two other lines in here. I'm actually not entirely sure what those lines are. There's a yellow line and a blue line, so let's just check that out really quickly, because it's been a while for me to check these. So this is the, yeah, there we go. So pedestrian, it's just called the pedestrian line. The hell is that? Oh, it goes around the pedestrian zone. It's a little loop around King Heights, really. But also Maple Square, I see. Got it. Alright, well, we have tram line 8 now. We'll rename it in just one sec, so let's just give it updated look and feel. Yeah, so it's just the Fairview line, right? And we'll color it blue as it's like a local group line. Pretty much the same color. And how many needs to be on that? It says 4 at the moment. We'll just bring it down to 2. I just don't think it's going to need that much, especially as it's growing early on. And the tram depot is right here, so they should just roll out and start moving around. Alright, we'll just speed up time, see how things go for us as people start to move in. I anticipate we actually might hit 75,000, which would put us at the Megalopolis milestone, which is endgame. There's nothing beyond that. You just, you know, obviously with the 81 tile mod, we can just unlock every tile we want, but we've been doing that anyway. We unlock monuments, which I've never seen before. I've seen other creators have it active, and I think it's like buildings that require multiple other buildings to be placed. So it'd be quite fun. I genuinely haven't looked through them. I don't think I've ever looked through them at all. I've looked through all the unique buildings that we can place, but monuments require other unique buildings, and it requires you to be a megalopolis already. So I've never done that before. This will be the first time ever doing it, if we manage to hit it, which I don't see why we wouldn't if this place fills up, which it should. Yeah, so the only other thing I was kind of thinking is these guys have no real access to commerce, which is, I mean, they do. They just have to go down into the city to get to it. There's a little bit of demand for commerce, so I was thinking, again, maybe that area there could be good for a little bit of commerce across from the park, separate it out just a little bit. So I might do that. Just kind of want to feel how things go for a bit here while we let time play. Ah, we've got a little problem, do we? High cargo traffic. 5 out of 5 trucks are being used. Oh yeah, these guys don't have a metro stop either. So their closest metro stop is the train station. Oh yeah, I've got an idea. Actually, let's give them a metro. I think I know what to do with this. This will be good. And it'll actually be perfect for these guys if they stay sort of low education, because we're going to give them a metro line that will feed all the way out towards Victoria, if you can remember that, because I apparently can't. So we'll just go normal mode, sync it down to -12. Yeah, so here we have a crossover station right here. So there's two parallel, perpendicular tracks, I guess, running next to each other. So I'm going to continue this. So it's at -32. It's actually fairly deep down there. I suppose before we line these up, we should decide where they're actually going to connect to. So here's our underground metro station. We've got a simple inner city metro station. So this is using a mod, and I'd noticed that this one is good for a connection point, but not good for an end point. For some reason, I guess that's just the way it's designed, it has a shorter platform. Do you see the length of the platform? It is significantly shorter than the standard line. So if you make it an end station, like the final destination, a train will pull in, and then it can't pull back out because its own rear will be covering the tracks that it kind of crossed over, if that makes sense. I learned that one the hard way, but you never had to see any of that. But for, not in this video, it was a previous video when I was messing around with that mod. But anyway, yeah, so I think we'll just... What is with this song? It's played like 4 times today. Same song keeps appearing. Anyway, so for the final destination, we could have something like this. In fact, having it along somewhere on this side of the road would be good, just to keep it away from some of those houses. So something like there, or just across, might be nice. So let's give this place some zoning. So it has no zoning at the moment, so we'll just use the dropper tool, turn on... Oh, it actually has zoning now. Okay. Yep, so pretty much there and there, although we want it only on one side. Like so. And our housing should be fine. We'll just make sure as well, thinking about it, that these ones don't grow in either. And we can create a little pathway or something. So this could be a good spot for a crossroads. Perfect. And then on the opposite side, we'll put in the metro station. Why the hell not? Could have it on this side, but like I said, I just want that noise pollution just to be a bit further out from these guys. Oh, as you can see, after doing that, god damn, it's put the zoning in again. God, this game's so finicky sometimes. I know I'm using a mod to kind of mess with that, but still, it's finicky. Alright. So, now that that's back down, the zoning is back incorrect. That's totally fine. Metro station. And we can kind of angle it after I place it as well, because I know it's a little offset right now. So let's just grab this. Not that it really matters, I suppose, but just thought it'd be nice to kind of line it up a bit better. Although arguably we're going to be making a sharper right angle here. So we need to find a place in this area that would be good. I'm looking right here, although this would be probably good just to have regular housing back in. We've got dog park and things in there. Is there any gaps that would make sense for a little metro for these guys? Because they have tram line right here, if you can see my mouse, just there. They've got a tram line, but it just seems like, yeah, somewhere in here it would make sense for them to have a metro. And they could have that smaller modded one. I think the sound pollution is the same that comes from it, but we need it to be facing that way anyway, for sure. Yeah, I'll just go with here. Hopefully they don't mind it too much. Bit annoying that that tree is basically in the way. We could change how that tree looks, I suppose. Oh, wrong type of road. Goddamn, we need a pedestrian crossing road. So pedestrian, we need this one. There we go. Okay, better. So we just basically got rid of some of the trees here. It's so loud in there. Let's just get rid of that house. And we'll give them a bit of distance before they grow back in. So just something like that. Maybe this could kind of come down to break it all up. And it's got trees as well. Not sure what trees it's using. I think it's using the ones that we had here. Oh no, I can't get them. I'll just grab this one for now. I don't know which one it is. I really should make a note of these. Because these ones are going to look slightly different now. Not too bad. Okay, so yeah, that can grow just fine. Giving it some space. Totally good. Hope it goes okay. Alright, so let's connect up these metro lines. Underground, if we can, please, game. So we go down to -32. Should just snap on anyway, but I like to be sure. So we've got our line here that needs to come down to basically... So if I touch on that and I just move out to the left, you kind of get a general idea of where it is. It's about there. Now that is... How far down? That's 25 down. So it's so annoying. If you do it on top of a road, it thinks like I'm trying to build on the road. Obviously I'm not, so I guess I'll just have to go to about there. So that's 23 across. So to create a nice bend, we can just go across 23 units. Okay. And yeah, I guess we'll just do this. Latch it on. Try straighten it up in a bit. Oh, you know what I should have done actually? Just use the curve tool. What am I doing? So let's just do that now. Arrange it line. No, create curve. Look underground. Click there. Click there. That's not what I want. How do we flip that? I can't remember. There we go. Okay, good. Better. Cool. So we'll just add that onto the same route. I don't see why not. It doesn't need a separate line or anything. I'll just cancel out of that. There we go. So, drag the stop. So we'll drag it all the way down to the end. Place in 2 stops here then. And then place in 2 stops here again. Although, is it already there? I think it's actually already there. Although it looks like just 1 stop now, so I'm a bit confused by that. Yeah, there we go. Alright, cool. Got it. Alright, nailed it. So the Victoria line will actually take you now all the way if you wanted to go straight out to the suburbs. Or you can get here, make a connection, get onto the blue line, go somewhere else. You could get onto the yellow line then, and that will take you out. So everything's interconnected. I think that's good. If you want to get to the train, you could probably just get a tram rather than getting into the metro. So yeah, let's see how this all runs for us. So it's getting dark, I know. What is it? About 4 p.m. Let's speed up time as we get into the late evening. And we'll monitor traffic and we'll watch these buildings pop up. That place has no power. But yeah, I'm thinking some small little commercial zone here. Low density, just to keep it less traffic. And at least that way, the trucks that are coming out here can latch right onto it to give them whatever they need, rather than having to go too far. So that's probably a decent spot for some commercial. So yeah, let's just start mapping out the road now for it. I think just a regular standard road. We could add some trimmings to it later, but very grid-like. Right to there and right to there. So a little commercial zone for us, basically. Should we have a road cutting in this way to fill it up? Or should it go the opposite direction? Yeah, I don't see really why not this. Although, I'd like this one to be kept with as least few junctions as possible, so maybe actually it'd be better to do this. That might be better for traffic as well. So this way, there's not going to be shops along this part of the road. You'll have to come in to get to them. Would that be better, or is that a bad idea? Not sure. Alright, so I've just played around with it for a few minutes, and I'm pretty happy with what we've got now. So it's not perfect zoning, there are some gaps in between the buildings, but we can kind of cover that up and we don't have to worry about it too much. So it is just going to be low density commercial for now. A little bit of time has played, so some of them are starting to move in right now. I decided to change this to a 4-lane road, just to anticipate future higher density of traffic. Hopefully that gives us some options in the future. Also made a little pathway cut through here just to connect the two sort of crosswalks and also the metro station. So I actually did see some people just get on there a moment ago. So that's good to see it's already in use. And that way, if they end up at the end of the Victoria line here, they can get out, walk across, and they're in a commercial zone. And this might be a commercial zone as well, given some time. Not too sure what I'm going to do with it other than we don't have a police station here, so maybe a local police station, local clinic, something like that could probably be a good thing to help all these guys out. So that's the plan for now. What else do we have? Do we have this zoned? Yep, that's all zoned. We're waiting for buildings to come in. Of course, it's just like empty and barren between this and the road for now, but what I've been doing over time is, you know, filling it in with trees. So I change the type of tree depending on how much coverage I want. If I want to really cover the area, I use these thick oak trees. If I don't want to cover it too much, we want to be able to have a view of like certain things, use these smaller ones. I think they're the elm tree. There's even smaller ones than that. Yeah, there's a few things though I need to kind of tidy up. There's like patches of green grass in here and stuff that could probably be paved. Oh, and it looks like we lost the zoning in there. That was a mistake of mine. Yeah, I kept a gap here on purpose. We could bring that zoning back, can't we? So that was the pedestrian crossing. God, I'm so out of my mind. Where do we find pedestrian? There we go. I knew it was in this tab somewhere, in the parks tab. So, we have this one. Zoning should be on, though. Why didn't it? There we go. Yeah, I don't know. Must have gotten rid of it from a previous setting. My bad. Alright. Lost some population there. We're pushing ever closer to 75,000. We're 400 away, so we should be able to do it any moment now. Quite happy with the place. Very noisy in there, though. Nobody really waiting over this way. This needs to be sunken down a bit. And be made seamless. Right, so another phase of the operation of moving this and trying to reduce traffic, which so far isn't really working, was to bring in a cargo ferry terminal thing up here. So this one's going to be kind of lazily put down here at first, and then I'll probably shape it in between episodes, because, you know, working on coastlines and quaysides and stuff can be a little tricky. I imagine it'll be a quayside the whole way, kind of similar to how we did here. but a bit more curvy. And then we might have something like this to break it up from the back of it. A quayside wall, a second layer to break it up here. Because the terrain drop-off is actually quite significant. So you can imagine having a separate one a bit further back. So let's just get started with it and see how it goes. See if it helps the traffic problem. So we've got the cargo harbor. I did think about, putting it somewhere here might be good. Effectively, this is a one-way road, the one I'm looking at right here. And this isn't. So I kind of want them to be able to join on out to that. Now this is going to create a little noise pollution on some of these residences here. Now I'm trying to straighten it up. There we go. So we'll see how that goes. They're not going to be too happy about that. But again, with the quayside wall, maybe some trees and stuff, maybe they could be made a little bit happier. Could maybe just bring this out slightly too. Alright, let's try that. Hopefully it doesn't break anything. Let's get the regular road just for now until we, like I said, in future I'll clean this up somewhat. Just not entirely sure yet until we get the kind of idea of how big these buildings are going to be. In fact, we'll go all the way, just straight line, pretty much to there. And then we'll connect it across. It's going to be quite the climb. No, it's not too bad actually, but yeah. And then similarly, bring this one maybe down along the coast and then up. Now that's firmly under the water. But before we do too much of that, we'll just make the slope a little bit more gradual. There we go. Alright, hey, we did it! Megalopolis! 75,000! First time ever doing that for me, and that gives us monuments, is it? Yes, right? We had the unique buildings. Monuments now. So, alright, yeah, you can see all the various different things you need. The Eden Project. Huge glass house, perfect for vast gardens. See, I've never built any of these. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. Hadron Collider. I didn't know they could have something like that. Fusion power plant, space elevator. A medical center. What's the one I've got the most progress towards already? It seems like it's the Eden Project. It's got two things. So we needed the official park, friendly neighborhood park, and then what? A statue of industry, servicing services offices, cathedral of plenitude, excuse me, and a... Well, it says construct business park, but that looks like the arch. So yeah, I'll have a look through these and see what we could build. That's cool. We can build some major end game buildings. The Castle of Lord Chirpwick. We need a clock tower. Old Market Street. A prison. Ooh. Oh, that's the arch. Yeah, it says business park. Okay, fair enough. Cool. Alright, we did it. Milestone unlocked. In real life for me, doing that. Yeah, so we're still underwater, are we? Maybe not in a minute. We are close. This is why we need the key wall. We could also just raise this building, right? Let's bring that up a bit. Now I'm hearing pings all around me, but you think if anything they'd be lowering, not leveling. There we go. Turn off some of that zoning. Alright, so they obviously need water. And they should have electricity. They're close enough. Oh yeah, we just did that actually, yeah. Alright, and then they've got this little side road. So like I said, what I want to be able to do here in future is add on to it, like have, we need like a ferry stop. It'd be cool to have a couple ferry stops along the coast here, coming down and around. We'll probably put one over there, but I don't think anyone's going to take it. The journey time is going to be so long, unless you carved a canal through this terrain, but I don't really want to do that. I just think it'd be weird looking. But what else? Oh yeah, then there's like a bunch of tourism things. All these different unique buildings for being on a boat. Let's see. There's like sidewalk. There's restaurants out at sea and stuff. Am I crazy? I thought they were in here for sure. Oh, there's one. The boat museum. So that kind of thing. Treasure hunt. And then what do we have? Financial buildings. I must be looking in the wrong area. Maybe it was just in here. So those are hotels. There is actually hotels at sea, which is cool. A boat hotel, and then the ocean resort. So it'd be cool to add one of those in along here, now that we've unlocked them. It's not going to be in any of these. City parks. There we go. So, fishing tours, jet ski rental, a marina, a restaurant pier, And a beach volleyball court. The only thing I don't like about the texture pack I'm using is beaches don't look very nice. It's real coarse. Everyone knows everything about sand as well. It gets everywhere. But yeah, it's more like a stony, pebbly beach, I think, than a sandy one. Alright, we got our first taker here. What do we got? A Jeep, owner, whatever. A nature tourist. Driving to tent number 3. So he's decided not to take that road. And to take this road to get up and around to the area up there. I guess we could make restrictions where we say that this is for cargo only. If you wanted to help it along. I don't know if it matters, but I guess why not? So let's just say no private cars. If you work here, you gotta walk. Maybe we'll make a little walkway or something. Taxis as well, forget them. And public transport, yeah, that's fine. We could give them a bit of a speed boost as well. They seem to be quite slow. 60 is fine. Alright, so we have to give it a bit of time, and then hopefully something will come in. And then the idea will be that trucks will just hopefully come in this way and filter down and decide to get to the commercial zone that's right here. That's the idea. I hope it works. It's to take the pressure off of the train, but maybe the train will just always take priority. I'm not too sure. Hey, our low-density commercial has pretty much all come in now. That's nice. Again, they'll need more services, right? So doesn't tell me about it because it's in the middle of leveling. Attract wealthier customers to allow to be upgraded. Okay. Might never upgrade then, actually, considering, because these guys are always going to be lower education. I've given them the policy for schools out, and they have no school nearby. The schools that are closest would be over here. We've got the public library, which actually has massive coverage. So it covers some of these houses, actually. Then we've got 2 elementary schools, which are filling up nicely. This one's totally full, though. The high school is at 1,800, basically. So it really is just a matter now of waiting for this place to grow, filling it all up. Then we can kind of blend things together with the ground textures and stuff, maybe a little nicer. See where, if they need additional pathways, if you want to add some extra ones in. Check on traffic, make sure everything's flowing okay. They have their tram stops. They have their park that they can walk through. Botanical garden for extra land value. Commercial zone nearby. Garbage is taken care of. Health, I think, would be something we should add in. Even just a local clinic. In fact, I got one that was modded, didn't I? Yeah, JP local clinic. Very small looking building, but it could be, it's actually way too small. We'll leave it. We'll just use a regular one. Sports hall and gymnasium. I like adding that in multiple places. But yeah, let's just go with the regular medical clinic. Totally fine to place it here, I think. And then the child healthcare center. Would that make sense for these guys? Yeah, it's got good reach. Tend to have them next to each other. Just move it down so it blends with the ground a bit better. And echoey baby noises is kind of creepy. Alright, let's speed up time. Let's bring this back to daytime. Let's check on that airport. It's been a long time since I looked at it. Oh, don't tell me it's broken. Oh! It is broken, but for a different reason. How the hell did that happen? Ah, right, because I cut the line here. Alright, let's bring the airport back online. That might have actually been causing traffic problems, thinking about it. Alright, we're back online. Everyone's good to go. There's a lot of planes here from Schlong Air. Just waiting. Hopefully we don't have broken flight paths and they all just get back on board, no problem soon. Alright, traffic is looking rough. Did we have another game on? We actually don't. Not for another four months, basically. 4 to 5 months. Because it's at the very end of the month. But man, that's a lot of traffic coming in. I do think that's going to be partially because of the airport. But maybe not. We're down to 67. Damn. Oh, actually, I know what a lot of it's going to be. It's people moving in. And this road is not being connected up to the highway yet. We could do a very quick and dirty job with that one. Just to see, does it help at all. So let's just do, like I said, quick and dirty. It's not going to be the way it's going to be in the future, but just to hook it up for now. And then we'll just bring this back above ground. Literally just snap it in there. And then, yeah, maybe just have a little exit ramp to bring you off from the other side. Oof, that was a mistake. This is like the biggest off-ramp thing ever. But it's fine. It's totally all temporary. Because like I said, I want to get your feedback on interchanges and see like what I could do to make that better. Wow, he was like doing it before the connection was even made. Where's he off to? The super pharmacy. Let's go. This is fine. Alright, nice. Yeah, so he might be delivering goods out there. Hopefully this takes some pressure off that area. And, well, I think it's mostly to do with people moving in. So it's a bit unfair to judge everything. I think we need to let time go by for a while and then decide how this reorganization is gone. Could add in some extra houses here, I think, as well, would seem to be fitting. So let's go like this. Let's grab our zoning tool. Always does that, man. I don't know why it does that. It puts it on the wrong side that it shows you. There we go. And we'll zone that in as well. Alright, so people are leveling up already. Love to see it. Although there's not enough workers. That's going to be the problem. That's why we're trying to pull in so many new people. We're already up to 78,500 though. God damn, population is climbing. And something that's really cool, you can check, there's our population graph. Look at that. And then if we have a look at the birth rate versus death rate, the yellow is the birth rate. So we're just exploding right now. Death rates, we're actually widening the gap between the two, which is good. And the population overall. So taxation. Taxes, I feel like I've actually been pretty lenient with taxes. In fact, we lowered taxes not that long ago. Cyclists. It's climbed at least. Students, yep. We want that to level out now, actually. Education levels would be the other one to look at. Yeah, so education levels I really want to kind of just ease off so that we actually fill the lower education jobs. Because the financial district has grown significantly, and there's buildings here with huge amounts of people in them still filling up all the time. So there's this big demand for high education. Oh my goodness. The entire plaza is on fire, and the police have been called. It's an arson attack. Are the police coming? Why are they so under such high stress right now? So that's going to be... Don't they have to... Yeah, no, they can drive into pedestrian areas yet. Yeah. Man, that's spreading pretty badly. Where's that, helicopter depot? You guys should be out there right now, if you're not already. I don't see them, though, in the air. They must be on call. It's spread to every building around it. So, bit of a disaster. Can we get someone on that now, please? Let's see, fire coverage. We have big firehouse right here. 16 out of 40 trucks in use. That is such a massive blaze that I would want to see a lot of trucks moving in here. We do have a policeman in there, though. Returning to station. It still has this crime problem, though. Oh, there we go. There is a fire truck deep in here. Coiling in the hoses. And returning to station. He's like, yep, my job is done here. Clocking out. Oh, lunchtime. Dude. Medical helicopter. God, where are they? They say they're in use, but I can't see them. Obviously, it's really difficult to see where the helicopters are. I guess we just have to leave it. I'm sure it'll be fine. The Great Blaze of 2058. I can't even hear their song. There we go. There we go. That's what I like to see. Smash. Smash it out. Douse the people. Holy crap. Look at this. All the people that had to run out of the building, I guess, probably. Wow. What a disaster, man. This is a proper... This is like a... Well, dare I say a terrorist attack, almost, at this level, you know? I mean, people are being terrorized. I wouldn't have said so had it not been for the police being called. Seems deliberate, you know? Torching the Corpo Plaza, as it were, to send a message to the suits. Ban the billionaires, am I right? Not enough educated workers. 0 jobs available. Sounds good to me. Oh, and not enough educated. Hang on a second. That's the... Oh, well, actually, well, that does make sense. Okay, right. Well, that'll be fine. That'll work itself out. Because I've been saying that we've got too many overeducated, which is true. But we actually kind of just need a bit of everything, really. But unemployment should be still really good, right? Yeah, it's only 4%. So that's totally fine. The reason I came across that problem is because in this business park, a lot of the factories, the bigger ones especially, weren't filling up. And they had highly educated workers. Look at this, 5 out of nothing, right? So there's 5 people working here who are highly educated who don't need to be working here. But they won't leave and just take the job. If all things could just be reset, it'd be perfect, right? All you guys that are high earning, highly educated, there's 600 jobs here that are in demand for highly educated. And yet we've people working the farms who are saying like, oh, I'm too educated for this. Well, go work downtown. And then out here, you've got the other problem of like not enough education. So I don't know, man. It's all over the place. You just gotta wait for these people to die, and then get the new batch of people who've been educated to go find the new jobs, I guess. We're almost 60 years. No, actually, that's not true. We're almost 40 years in. So I guess there's only been 1-2 generations really of coming out of school, probably at this point, maybe 3. But yeah, I think that's probably going to have to be pretty much it. I want to see how the traffic situation pans out, but it's a little unfair right now, like I said, because people are still moving in. I'd say really, if we wait till the next day, maybe I could just let time keep speeding up. We've got good demand again for residential. Let time play. We're closing in on 80,000 here. That should be almost everyone moved in. Still, actually, there's still like 10 more households than just these random houses here, so you're going to get this influx of people all the time. What about on this road? Do we have many more people coming in this way? In fact, we need to maybe speed these guys up. They should really be on 100. And that should just encourage them to take this road if they can. Can they turn in that way? They can, actually. Yeah, that's good. The others are taking the off-ramp in then as well. So, yeah. So, more people are using this. Obviously, it's just, like I said, really temporary. Next episode, I think we're going to start building out that small suburban village. And they'll have access to a nice big road like this as well. To place in some trees, fill the place out. But yeah, please give me suggestions of what else you'd like to see. I do think one last DLC thing, 2 things I want to build that are left. A zoo, so we've got to place that in somewhere, and also a campus, an actual campus, DLC campus. But I've been avoiding it because I didn't want to overeducate our people just yet. The Carlo Valley University has never actually filled up completely anyway. So I kind of want to see how that all shakes out. So just really quickly before we end, I will just take a moment, just have a look at how our transport's looking. So these guys are waiting for a tram to come around. We did just say only 2 are coming around at a time. So how many people are waiting? 68 waiting at this particular spot right here. 75 now. So that's pretty good. A lot of people using the place. Multiple lines getting involved. 83 out of 100. Yeah, and obviously there's other people waiting here for the other different lines that are passing through. Has the Great Fire ended? It looks like it has. Although the plaza is a state because of it. Oh, one last thing I actually been meaning to do was yeah, this is done now. This cemetery is emptied, so we can get rid of it. Oh my god, whoops. Hopefully that didn't mess with that road too much, did it? It did. Oh god. So I need to find the road again and get rid of the zoning that's on it. There we go. That should keep the houses intact. It also needs to move. So it's looking a bit funky. Alright. Is that okay? That seems okay. So, what I wanted to do is remove that cemetery. That's gone now. But, what can be put in its place is a motel. Because we have one of the hotels here. The roadside motel needs land value, or sightseeing, nature, a little bit of nature, and then shopping and office space. So it needs a bit of everything. And there's actually a really good spot, like right around here for it. So I'll just place it there. You could do it, excuse me, more business. So we'll just move it up. Perfect, look at that. Maxed it out. So there we go, anchor hotels, motels. And just whack those prices up. What are we up to now, total profit? Our popularity is still quite high, but we need 40,000, wow, before we get to the final tier of hotels. So how's our corpo hotels doing? So this could be better. More business on this side. This side has full business. And mostly, almost full shopping. So it needs more business. I would have thought this side would have great access, because there's office spaces right there. That's a tricky one. It's right next to it, really. There's office space right there. So their road connection is here. You go down, and then there's offices. I guess it's just considering it a little too far. Suppose we could get rid of the sports hall if people wanted to. People didn't really like that. I thought it was kind of cool idea having near the hotels. But, yeah, you could get rid of that and just put in more office blocks, and this would probably max out, actually, for business. Keep the elevated plaza in there. Alright, I think that's going to have to be it. We've crossed 80,000, so I think I achieved at least one of my goals today, which was increasing the population. Did we achieve the traffic problem? Not really, it's basically the same as it was. How is this area being used now? So a train is just pulled in. It's unloading. We have trucks coming out. Some of them are actually turning to go straight in there, not all of them. And then I assume they just come back around to do a loop. Oh, this needs to be a one-way as well. Yeah, so that if they need to just stay on the left, they can go that way. If they want to turn right, they go on that way. They shouldn't be turning left there, so I'm just going to manually change that one. Alright, so you're going forward or to the right if you're on the right lane. And if you're in the left lane, you're circling back around. And that way, these guys who are going straight should stay in that lane as well. That way you should keep the lanes separate to each other for free-flowing traffic. For the most part. In fact, just to make sure they don't do what I just saw one of them just doing. So you stay straight, okay? Thank you. They could change later on, just not at the start bit. Got a park maintenance guy heading out. And then what is that, an airport bus? 40 out of 40 heading towards the airport. I love to see that. I kind of love to see that, but in another way, it's also like, well, can't you just get the train? Instead of clogging up mid-traffic. Oh, they're taking a different route. They're taking the new road. That's nice, because they've only got one stop, so they obviously just dynamically choose where to go. What the quickest route to get there is. Let's just follow this one last time. I don't know how long this episode's gone on. My recording says 2 hours, 20 minutes, so we'll see. But we'll follow this out. We'll wrap it up, and then we'll be back, hopefully with your suggestions again next week. At the moment, my schedule is Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for videos. I'm covering Cities Skylines, Satisfactory, and Anno on those days. So Tuesday is Satisfactory, Thursday is Cities Skylines, and Anno is on Saturdays. But because I was sick, everything's just been moved over one day. All you need to know, though, generally speaking, going forward after today, it should be Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Now, that's only 3 days a week. I posted it to my community tab, and people were like, 3 actually sounds like loads. That's great that people think that. But I know that if you only watch Cities Skylines, for instance, then you've only got 1 video a week, and that's not very much. So I'm hoping that if I can just hit that 3 per week, and then also a stream on the side on Mondays, if I can hit that, then I'll add another day, and the priority will probably go to Cities Skylines because that's my best viewed. So fear not. It's just to kind of start off in the next couple of weeks as I'm ramping back up and trying to get an orderly schedule and give you guys a more reliable schedule so that you know, hey, it's Thursday. There should be a Darren video out for Cities Skylines. So I want to be there for people and have that reliability, and going forward I should be able to do that. I've got no holidays plans or anything planned coming up. Hopefully I don't get sick again. And if that all remains true, then I should be able to hit that schedule. All right. So yeah, I think that's going to have to be it for today. 81,000 population. Quite happy with that. At least we didn't tank the traffic. Too bad. Maybe I'm speaking too soon. This also needs, yeah, time traffic light probably. Right, we'll leave it there. I'm going to touch a few of these things up in between episodes. We'll be back with the next one. Please do leave me your feedback. I'm not just asking for YouTube comments. I want feedback in terms of suggestions and ideas about what I can do specifically with highways and how to fill the rest of this area out. Do you like the idea of suburbs? And then out here is going to be a bit more coastal, marinas, boat hotels, boat museum, all that kind of cool stuff along the coast with ferry stops dotted along the way. So, yep, that's the plan. All right, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.